Hey guys, this side from 24/7 everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new custom ROM, that is Pixel Experience Plus with the May 2020 build. So on my screen you are able to view that this particular ROM is Android 10 based, and a part to this security patch level is of 5th May 2020. Then kernel version is 4.4. Triple two, then prototype. Apart to this, build date is of May 11th 2020. Build number is WQ28.200501.001.B2. And apart to this, the build type is official. And apart to this, the major thing is that the device is not certified by default. So here you can verify that as well. So if someone wants to certify this particular device, so we have already created a video in the past, and the URL for the same will be provided to you in the description box below, so that you can go over afterward and you can certify this particular device. So in this particular video, we will be going to discuss the matrix or analysis from the network and internet, connected devices, battery matrix, minor and advanced customization, then security, then Zen motions, and quick setting, then default app shipped with this particular ROM, apart to the status of camera to API and status of wideband certification, then Gcam or a stock camera, that is Google Camera Go, then benchmark scores, then RAM and main memory management, or I would say memory management, and last but not least, the installation part. On a system wide like settings and so on, so let's move to that part. So on a very first thing, they have provided gestures. So by default, swipe to screenshot I have already turned on. If it is on, then you can just do this 3-finger screenshot. Apart to this, system navigation, so for the videos preference, I'm using 3 button, but you can use 2 button gesture, which is by default shipped with the Android 10 and so on. Apart to this, they have also provided a provision for the system update, or I would say FOTA updater, so it is working absolutely fine. There is no glitch with that. And on a advanced setting, like side or I would say front, they have provided 2 different settings. One is for the buttons and another is for the status bar. So basically this is a Pixel Experience Plus ROM, so it has addition or plus functionality over the Pixel Experience normal ROM. So on a button side, they have like system wide, which we have already discussed, and compact layout. So by default layout is like this. If I'll turn it on, then it will be squeezed. So let me turn it off. Apart to this invert layout, so if I'll turn it out, then back button will be replaced by the recent, and recent will be replaced by the back button. Apart to this, few actions for the home long press, home double tap, recent long press, and so on. So like on recent long press, I have selected like launch camera, so let me do it. So now it is asking which camera option do you want to open, like camera go, Google camera, and so on. So apart to this, even on a power button side, they have power menu. So if I'll be selecting here, they do provide lockdown. So let me show you. So by default, I've selected lockdown. If I'll turn it off, then it will be removed from my this particular list and so on. And apart of this, there are a few other things as well that you can work upon, and you can try if hopefully those will be beneficial for you. Part to this, on the status bars front or status bar settings, there are a few options like network traffic, system icons, and so on. So like if I'll be selecting system icons, then I can select which icon should be available, which should be available on your status bar, and so on. And apart to this, clock position, so you are able to view that I have positioned my clock as in center. So even you can play, if I put on left, then it will go there. If I'll put on right, then it will move here, but I prefer on center because of the icon which I want to show. Apart to this, like you can even show seconds. So I have selected, now it will be showing me show seconds and so on, AM and PM style and so on. And apart to this, battery indicator, which I'm already, you can play with this, then brightness like controller and so on. Apart to this, quick settings, like by default I have selected that it should have 5 in the column and 5 as 4 as a row and so on. So I've selected like 4 rows in a portrait, and column should be 5, so you can view 1 2 3 4 rows on a portrait mode and 5 columns. So you can even play with the same, and you can see how it's working at your side and is it useful or not. Now let's focus to the another part, that is digital well-being and parental control. So by default it is turned on and I am using it, and we will be discussing battery matrix on the basis of this. So this will be having an impact on the battery matrix as well. So I hardly see like if I'll be turning it off, it will hardly make any change, or hardly to hardly 1%, just not more than that. Apart of this, they have already provided Zen motions. So basically these are the gestures, and a part of this ambient display. So it's not working at my side. If it is working at your side, then do let us know. It will be really beneficial for the like users whosoever will be watching this particular video. Apart of this, now let's move to the security section. So on a security front, pin, password, pattern, swipe, all are working fine. Fingerprint scanner is also working fine. Face unlock is working absolutely fine. On a fingerprint or I would say fingerprint side, I have hardly seen one or two times that I had to press my finger harder to detect it. But apart of this, I haven't faced any major glitch. So all in all, security is working absolutely fine. Now let's move to the display section and discuss about styles and wallpaper. So in display section, they have provided one option, that is style and wallpaper. This is a minor customization, so where you can select style or wallpaper. You are all aware about wallpaper, so you can try like some live wallpaper and so on. If you want to view a video on a live wallpaper using MIUI 12, so we have created that in the past, and we will be providing you the URL for the same so that you can go over afterward. So basically, like this is the by default theme that have been selected and all these. So to cut down the time, I've already created a custom theme on my name. So this is the one, and let me apply it, and everything will be changed accordingly. So by default, the icon size was default device. So now I've changed it to teardrop, and this is my accent color and so on. It is available throughout the device and so on. So all in all, you can play with it like selecting this particular theme, tap to edit, and you can make any changes like font, icons, color, shape, style, name your style, and so on. Apart to this, in this particular section, there is one lock screen display. So nothing major has been provided here. Again, few options like show lockdown option. Apart to this, when to show, this is for AOD. So if we'll turn it always on display, so let me do that as well. So it is always on display. So let me turn off my screen. So this is AOD, which will be showing you clock, time, and so on. And in the same sense, if you will turn new notification on, if someone will be sending you anything, if your if your notification setting has been open, then it will be prompted you there. So if you have turned it off and turned it on, that will work in that particular sense. Apart to this, there are many more settings on which you can play, like media, cover art, music visualizer, and so on. Now let's focus on the very important primary part, that is battery consumption, battery drainage, and so on. So from a battery consumption side, for a normal user, or I would say a user with the normal or light usage, where he or she is just using his or her phone for the web browsing, then social networking side, few audio and video playbacks, and hardly minor gaming sessions with a very lesser gaming, or I would say graphic intensive game. So overall, I would say experience would be good and satisfactory, and you will feel that battery is working absolutely fine. Now let's discuss from the gamers point of view. So for the gamers point of view, I have analyzed two different apps. One is PUBG Mobile and another is Call of Duty. So for both the games, I have played nearly about 1 hour of gameplay. So let's open the PUBG Mobile setting and discuss further on. So using these graphic settings and frame rate, where I'm using HD graphics and high frame rate, the battery consumption rate was 15 to 16% during a 1 hour of gameplay. And apart to this, I have also read it, or I would say noted down the temperature reading. So before playing the game, the temperature of my phone was nearly about 32 degree, and after, as soon as I completed 1 hour of gameplay, the temperature reading of my phone was nearly about 38 degree. So as we are approaching to summer season, so these ratings temperature readings are, I would say, optimal, so there is no problem with this. But once it will be reaching 41, 42, 43 degrees, then it will be a somewhat like problem for us. So now let's focus on to the Call of Duty mobile related settings and matrix and so on from the batteries consumption. So these were the graphics and frame rate settings for the Call of Duty. So I was using medium, which is the highest available, or frame rate, which is again the highest available. So during the 1 hour of gameplay, the battery consumption rate was nearly about 17 to 18%. So apart to this, I have also noted down the temporary temperature readings. So before playing the game, the temperature of my phone was 29 degrees, and after, as soon as I've completed the gameplay of 1 hour and so the temperatures were nearly about rose to 36 degrees. So all in all, I would again say this is again an optimal situation. Again, once it will rose to 41, 42, 43, then that will be a problem for us or our users. Now let's focus on the ideal battery drainage percentage. So basically, there is ideal battery drainage. So I have encountered nearly about 3 to 4% battery was drained during a span of nearly about 8 to 9 hours. So even during this particular time, I haven't turned off the digital well-being, so it was by default turned on. So all those things are including, like the impact of digital well-being running on the background was also captured in this 3 to 4 hours of battery drainage. Apart to this battery charging time, it took nearly about 2 hours and 50 minutes to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%. Just for a like information part, I am not using Asus default chargers which was shipped with this particular phone. I'm using a compatible 10-watt charger. So I will urge every user whosoever is facing a issue of battery charging for nearly about 4 hours or 5 hours. In some cases, some has mentioned that they are taking nearly about 6 to 7 hours. So it would be really great if they can purchase a 10-watt compatible charger and try to use that to charge your phone. You will significantly change, or I would say see the changes in terms of your battery charging time, and even that will also help you in terms of overall your battery management and battery age and so on. So now let's focus on the connected devices. So in connected devices, Bluetooth and screencasting both are working fine. Bluetooth is working fine for file transfer, and also audio via Bluetooth devices like speakers, or I would say earphone, headphones, and so on. On the other side, screencasting is also working absolutely fine. I have tested this on 2 to 3 different laptops and working absolutely on a very first go without any glitch or error. Now let's focus on the network and internet. So again, this is also a very major part. So Wi-Fi calling is working absolutely fine for both Jio and Airtel SIM. There is no provision for native video call, or I would say call recorder. Apart to this, Wi-Fi connectivity, mobile internet, calls and SMS all are working absolutely fine for both the SIMs, be it Jio or Airtel, without any problem or glitch. Now let's focus on the quick settings section. So all the, I would say every minor, major, simple or advanced settings, all are working absolutely fine, which are displayed on my phone screen at this moment. And apart to this, they have provided all the significant or are needed settings. I have selected all the vital, but there are few likes these which I don't use, so that's why I haven't put in my list. But apart of this, you will see everything is working. Even they have provided screen recorder as well, record screen. It is working absolutely fine, but the audio is which is being recorded is only for this system, and it is I would say on a good level as well. So few ROMs are having very low level of recording the internal or a system audios, but in this particular ROM you will see whatsoever you are recording, it is recording absolutely fine. Now, apart to this, let's focus on the default apps which have been shipped with this particular ROM. So all these apps are the ones which have been shipped with this particular ROM. So I've just kept it so that you can even view whatsoever will be will be shipped whenever you will be flashing this ROM for the very first time, which we will be discussing while in the installation part as well. And apart to this, now let's focus on the status of camera to API. Again, it is available out of the box, or I would say by default with the level 3 support. So even I have tested Gcam, it is working absolutely fine. Apart to this, status of White One certification. So at my side, it is showing L3, and it is just because of mess of Android 10 beta versions. So if someone has not installed those will surely be able to view L1 at their side and so on. And apart to this stock camera, so with this particular build they have updated the stock camera to the Google Camera Go. So maybe I'll try to create a separate video on this for the stock version, stock ROM as well. So stay tuned till then. Apart to this, as I've told you that I have also tested Gcam, for which the URL will be provided to you in my official blog, which I'll be sharing while installation part. And apart to this, now let's focus to the benchmark scores. So to capture the benchmark scores, I'm using Geekbench 4, Geekbench 5. So these are the scores on a single core score. The score is nearly about 279. On a multi-core score, the score is 1263. And apart of this, on a computation level, using OpenCL, it is showing us 439. On a using Vulkan API, the score is nearly about 262. Now let's focus on the memory or a RAM management. So like during video creation, I have opened few games, like let me open PUBG Mobile and let's see. Okay, so it has opened from the same window where I have left rather than loading from the scratch. Now let me look into the Call of Duty part as well, because these two games are really graphic intensive and memory intensive. Or so again, it is just connecting to the server, and after it, again it has opened from the same window where I have left over. We can even test it with other apps, like we were opening Geekbench 5 scores. It is opening all the same. then status of wide one. So it is being loaded. I'm not sure why, but sometime I have seen this particular bug with this particular app. But apart to this, camera to API is working absolutely fine. And apart to this, okay, so we have already opened everything. Let me open camera to see whether it is opening from the scratch of where we have left, again from the same screen where we have left. Apart of this, overall review score of this particular ROM is 90 out of 100. So there is again room for the improvement. So hopefully in the coming build, developer will be able to do this. So I will really recommend this particular ROM to every user who just want simple ROM with some advanced setting, rather than if someone is not in a need of having the settings or a wide of settings available from Havoc OS, Ion OS, or whatsoever other ROMs. So this will surely be a beneficial for them. Now let's jump into the installation part. For that, let me open my official blog and we'll discuss few things, and afterward we'll directly jump to the TWRP mode for the installation part. Here is the dedicated article that I've already drafted, or I would say created at my side. Nothing major has been mentioned here, a few downloading links and so on. So the URL for the same will be provided to you in the description below so that you can go over afterward. So on the very first thing, it has been provided or mentioned that you can download the ROM using this. There is no need to flash GApp separately. Here is a Magic Suite 20.4, although it is optional but will be needed for the if you want to certify your device. Then Google Camera link, the Google Cam that I was discussing within the during the video creation process, like I have used this and it is working fine. Apart of this, few prerequisites like backup your data, charge your phone's battery at least to 50%, or but I recommend 80% and more. So minimum firmware version required is 0.59, but for this particular video I'm using version 4.24, that is the latest issued by or released by Asus for the Android 10 base beta 2 version. And if you want to verify or want to have few more videos on the firmware version, so you can refer the below mentioned URL, that is for our YouTube channel, and you can go and search about those. So a part of this, bootloader should be unlocked, then TWRP custom recovery should be installed. If you are not aware, then we have already provided you the dedicated links for the same. A part of this, finally, the installation of the Pixel Experience Plus 10 ROM using TWRP recovery mode. Firstly, format data, then wipe cache, Dalvik data and system, and finally install the Pixel Experience Plus 10 ROM. As GApp is not required because it is already included, that's why that step is being excluded. So vendor partition is optional in terms of wiping. So finally, just reboot the phone and complete the phone setup process. Just as a precautionary note, wait for 10 to 15 minutes in case if you are facing any bug like your phone setup process is not proceeding further, although there is no such bug or problem encountered on my side, but just as a precautionary note. Last but not least, finally enjoy the beauty of the Pixel Experience Plus 10 ROM on your Asus Zenfone Max Pro. And a part of this, these are our social handles, and you can subscribe to us, you can join us, and so on. Now let me just restart my phone to the TWRP recovery mode, and we can continue with the installation part. So finally our phone has been booted to the TWRP recovery mode, and you can see the home screen of TWRP. So as per blog, you have to tap on wipe. Afterward, just tap on format data and just type yes for the confirmation, and press this blue button. And hardly 1 or at most 2 minutes will be needed for formatting your data. So make a backup of your data and so on. A part of this backup, I would say back button, again back until unless you move to the wipe section again. This time you have to select on advanced wipe, and you have to select 4 different partitions, that is Dalvik, cache, data and system. Vendor partition is optional. If you want, you can do it, but there is no such need. So I have to wipe it again. It will take at most 2 minutes to complete it. Afterward, just move back and again back and again back until unless you move to the home screen. Now you are good to go with the installation process. So just tap on install button. Afterward, now you have to find the desirable folder where you have downloaded that particular custom ROM file. So at my side it is this Pixel Experience Plus and so on. Let me just tap it here. Afterwards, swipe to confirm flash. Finally, the installation process has started, like Pixel Experience Plus 10 edition and so on. So just wait nearly about 4 to 5 minutes until unless this particular process will be completed, and afterward we'll move to the phone setup process. So finally the installation process has been completed, and now we are good to go with the reboot system. But before that, I'll be preferring to click on the wipe cache Dalvik and just clear the junk files which has been created during this installation process. Afterward, we are good to go with the reboot system. Now finally our phone will be booted and will invoke to the, or I would say proceed to the phone setup process, and we will try our level best to complete it as soon as possible, and we'll show you the default ROM after the installation. So finally, the phone setup process has been started. So according to my mobile provider, it has detected English India. Let me continue further. So let me just select according to my choices. So afterward, now it is asking to connect to the Wi-Fi. So let me do it as soon as possible. After successfully entering the Wi-Fi credential, now it has moved to the checking for update. So if any pending payload or downloaded file needs to be downloaded, then it will do the same processing during this process or during this screen, and afterward it will move to the next part. So finally it has installing the update, and these are related to the Play Protect, or I would say Google Play services and so on. So after this, now it has moved to copy apps and data. If you want to copy from Google Cloud, then you can move to next. But for the videos part, I'm just like skipping to don't copy. Afterward, again, it is checking for update. So this is the most primal, or I would say vital part. So you should be aware about your pin or pattern whatsoever you have selected while before flashing this particular ROM or any custom ROM, or otherwise you will be asking for the Google account that was associated previously on your ROM. So at this moment, let me enter my password, and now it has found that this is a legit one, and now it has moved to the further part. So just to cut down time, I'm just skipping the Google account setup process so that we can complete the phone setup process as soon as possible. Now just for the again cutting for down the time, I'm just going to set up the pin, and we'll skip the fingerprint because we have already discussed about this and it is working absolutely fine. So finally the installation phone setup process has completed, and now we have moved to the home screen, and this is the bare bone structure, or I would say default apps shipped with this particular ROM. Let me confirm you one more time. Let me go to about section Android 10, again Android 10 version and so on, with security patch 5th May and build number and so hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family, and apart from this, please subscribe to our channel because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.